Alrighty, y'all, welcome to this Jeep Leak Fix Kit unboxing video. Here we'll be going over exactly what you can expect to receive at your doorstep when you place your order for your Jeep Leak Fix Kit. Now, I love unboxing videos, so I figured we might as well do one for this product, so this way we're all on the same page as to what you're expecting when you get it. So this is the box it comes in, you get it to your door. Now let's check out what's inside. All right. Remove these items. That's all that's in the box. You'll be receiving this bag with these 4 items inside of it, and then also the Jeep Leak Fix gasket that does all the heavy lifting and is the superhero of this show. All right, let's first start with what's inside this beautiful, fancy sandwich bag. No, it's not a ham and cheese. It's actually 2 of these scrubby erasers, 1 blade, and then also this glue. Now, for those of you who've watched the installation video or have yet to watch it, you'll notice that in the installation video, we're actually using a Gorilla Glue and we're using the Mr. Clean brand magic erasers. Now, when we shot that video about a year ago, we did not expect to get the type of response that we have within the last year to year and a half, where this kit has become very successful. In those days, we were sourcing the Mr. Clean Magic erasers from our local Walmart, and then the glue was again from Walmart, but it came to a point where the demand really blew up, and we needed to source these items in bulk because we were raiding like 3 or 4 of our local and not so local Walmarts within like an hour of us, and taking all the glue they had and all the magic erasers, and even that wasn't enough. So we had to find a distributor that could supply us these items in bulk. So with that being said, what we have found and tested and found has been super effective, and if not better than the Gorilla Glue actually, is this little tube here of the super glue gel. And that's what's important, that it's a gel glue. Now, you'll only be using small dots of this. So again, the Gorilla Glue we were using before was huge, and you'd only use just a small portion. It was like kind of a waste as well. Something to note on this when you do receive the kit also is the way to open this. When you open the top on this, you'll see that it has this metal, this little metal sealer there. What you can do is take the other end. Now again, this was like this, right? You take the other end of this, turn it around, and inside of this is like a puncturing device, and it'll puncture that open. Then what you do is, I know this is a whole tutorial about glue, but it's kind of important. Then you remove this top and you'll be able to use it, the little dabs that you need for the actual application. Again, the amounts that you're going to be using are super small, and this glue is very effective at keeping the gasket adhered to the places that it needs to be. Enough about the glue. Let's move on to this blade. Self-explanatory. It's for cutting the gasket material when you need it to be cut. I don't think we have to go into much about that. Now the erasers, again, they're not Mr. Clean Magic erasers, but nonetheless, they get the job done. And the point and usage for this is to prepare any of the surfaces that your gasket material, where are you gasket material? That your gasket material is going to be coming into contact with. Okay, so prep is the number one thing that we like to stress on the installation, making sure all the surfaces are nice and clean before you go ahead and add this gasket. Now, moving on to the gasket. You're going to be receiving this entire roll, which is going to be enough to do 4 doors on your Jeep, your 2 Freedom panels, and then also you're going to be able to have enough to do the rear glass on the hatch in the back of your vehicle, because oftentimes that also leaks. So you'll have enough of this material included in the kit to go ahead and apply it to all those surfaces. Now, let's talk about the gasket itself and why this gasket is being featured on our site as opposed to all the other things that people have recommended on the internet, be it on YouTube saying go to Home Depot or Amazon or eBay and ordering different materials. Well, first and foremost, my brother and I have hundreds of hours investigating this problem, tinkering around, experimenting with solving this problem, and we have tried all of those materials that have been recommended before finally having this gasket as being the fix, and it actually became a fix kind of unknowingly, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. But anyway, the materials that are kind of recommended to use on the internet are first and foremost, a lot of them are made out of foam, or open cell foam. And what happens with that is it acts like a sponge. And when you put that material and water continuously gets to it, it just sops up, and is just pretty much useless. The other problem with foam materials are they are very thick, whereas the profile of this gasket, as you can see, is very thin. I have, what do I have here? I have a knife, and you'll see the edge of this knife here and the edge of this gasket. I mean, you're talking about a very thin profile. So yeah, the material is super thin, and that's what you need. A lot of these materials are very thick, and the thicker the material is, the worse it is at stopping a gap, where you would think that, hey, if I put a bigger, beefier material there, it'll stop the gasket. But in this case, that is not true. Let's talk about some of the questions that have been asked about this gasket and why this is the most effective as opposed to other options on the internet that you might be able to find, like on Amazon or eBay. Number one, I said the profile of this material. The material here that you're going to be finding in this gasket, number one, is rubber, and it's not open cell foam. Number two, it's a little bit wider here than it is here, so it's almost a wedge-shaped gasket. And if you've watched our video or yet to watch it, this side here, this flap, okay, is going to be acting as a channel to allow water to flow down it, almost like a gutter system, a slide, if you will. Now, in our video, if you've seen it or yet to see it, you'll see that the liner, or there's a blue section on the gasket. And people have asked me in the past, well, are you guys using a different gasket now? The answer to that is no. This orange plastic that you're seeing is just a protective liner, as you see I'm peeling it away here, okay, to protect the adhesive backing on this gasket. A lot of questions have been asked about the longevity of the adhesiveness of this gasket. This adhesive backing has proved to last for years on our Jeeps, on customers' Jeeps. Once you put it on, especially if you prepare the surfaces properly, and again, you can do that with these items. You can also use soap and water to give it an initial cleaning down, then use these items. And then finally, you could also pass a bit of alcohol just to be completely certain that all of the debris and dirt, etc., is in perfect condition to accept this adhesive backing. Now, the better you prepare the surface, the better that this material is going to end up sticking to the surface that you put it on, be it the body side of your Jeep or the Freedom panels as well. Now, if you haven't watched the video, it's almost 2 hours long, so let me just kind of give you the general synopsis of what we're talking about there. The reason Jeeps leak is because there's no body side gasket. Now, you might be saying, like, what do you mean by that? Well, if you go and open the door on your vehicle right now, you'll notice that there's a similar type of rubber gasket lining the perimeter of your door. But then when it closes onto the body, there is no rubber gasket for it to come into contact with. And if you look at any other vehicle in the world, Fords, Chevys, Hondas, no matter the year, you open that door, you're going to see there's a gasket on the body side, and there's going to be one on the door side. And when those two surfaces come together, those two rubbers meet, it keeps the water out. And that's the reason your Jeep's leaking. So that's why we have tackled this problem from the perspective of putting a body side gasket around the entire perimeter of the body of the vehicle and also the Freedom panels. And that's why this works really well. Now let's talk about the other features of this gasket that you're not going to be finding in other gaskets that perhaps you might find at Home Depot, etc. First and foremost, like I said, it's rubber. Secondly, the profile of it is super thin. Thirdly, I'm going to bring it up into the light here. I don't know if you can see, but where my finger is right here, I don't know how well the camera's going to catch this, but there's a bit of a spine. You can see it right there. See what my finger is? I'm going to put it in the camera. That spine, you're not going to find in other gaskets. This spine does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of making that seal. When the door seal comes in contact with it, it really touches well and just enough. What happens if you had too much of a rubber item placed in the door, or one of those big, huge foam items, Frost King, that people are recommending from Home Depot, etc., the door becomes increasingly difficult to close, and it does not do the job because you'll just put a piece of foam in a certain spot where it's leaking, but water is very smart and sneaky. It'll go around there, and then it'll go where the foam isn't. And that's why we provide enough material to go around the entire perimeter of your body side door frame. And that's what this material does and works really well. Now, getting back to the story as to how this gasket came about, well, this was a gasket that we were using on our glass top installations. It's something that we have produced and use for there to keep water from entering from the roof of the vehicle. So this is made for an exterior application, and that's why it's rubber. And secondly, the adhesion of this line here had to be super adhesive because it was going on the top of the roof, exterior application, and it needed to stay there at high speeds. Now, how we came across using this was one day after trying multiple things and kind of giving up on solving this problem with the leaking of the doors and the freedom panels. We had this roll just kind of on the floor, and my brother and I just got to thinking like, well, this looks pretty good. The thickness of it, and we got to sticking it around the door frames. And number one, it fit perfectly as if it was made to go in the door frame of the Jeep Wrangler. It fit absolutely perfect. Number two, this flap that's here, okay? We didn't intend for it to work this way, but after sticking it onto the vehicle and testing it for on a number of vehicles, we noticed that rain would find its way, water would find its way onto this flap and get directed to the outside of the vehicle in such a way that we never even anticipated. Thirdly, the OEM look of this, the fit and the finish of this gasket on your door is not anything that jumps out to you when you open it. Oftentimes I've seen some goofy things going on with Jeeps when you open the door and they have all types of material stuff there that just looks absolutely crazy. All right, so with that being said, the effectiveness of this gasket comes from, again, hundreds of hours of testing different materials online, offline, Home Depot, Amazon. We've tested everything, and it ended up being a material, and this is the way a lot of problems get solved. Oftentimes when you're not looking in that direction, something presents itself as a solution, and that's where this manufactured gasket for another part of our business ended up lending itself to fixing leaks, and we're grateful that it did because it solved a lot of people's problems. And again, this is not a gasket that you're going to find anywhere online. This is something that we have had produced for this, well, not for this problem, but for something else in our business. Now, moving right along, enough about that. Again, this is the roll. You're going to have enough to do your vehicle 4 doors, hardtops, and the rear hatch. So that is that, and that is the start of this show. Let's talk about what you're not going to get inside the kit that is of tremendous value nonetheless. As it says here, Jeep Leak Fix, you're going to see it. And remember, it's going to be right on the top here of this roll. It's going to say, visit our website for instructional videos, which is a 2-hour video that's on this website, which is an invaluable resource for you in terms of doing the installation. We have spent, again, hundreds of hours perfecting how or what the material would need to be to stop this issue. And then we put together this very detailed video for you to watch and see how we would do it if we were standing right next to you. And again, this kit gets shipped out around the world. So again, all throughout the United States, in Canada, Wisconsin, Lithuania, big shout out to Norway. There's a lot of people in Norway ordering this, Dominican Republic, and on and on. So we produced this kit because originally when people were sending us their vehicles to customize it, we were also fixing the leak. And when they would go back to their home states of Pennsylvania, New York, Alabama, friends of our customers were saying, well, how'd they stop the leak? And they couldn't transport their vehicle to us. There's only certain people that could, afford to do something like that. But their friends would say, how did they fix that? And that's what kind of got us to producing a do-it-yourself kit. So that this way, anyone in any part of the world can also fix their vehicle, because there's only but so many people that we can cater to out here in Texas. That moves on to the shipping location of this product. It is coming from Texas, so anywhere in the United States, you'll be receiving this within 2 days. We ship priority UPS or USPS, so within 2 to 3 days, you will receive this package. Now, anyone outside of the United States will also be able to place their order and use shipping providers such as DHL or USPS. to get this package delivered to them. So if you are outside of the United States, feel free to place your order, and in the checkout section, you will see options for shipping to your respective country. So what else haven't I touched on? What's included? Oh, yes. Instructional video, and now the contact info, and that's super important. So let's touch on the contact info, which is located on our website, which is not only our email, which every company always gives you, like just email us, and it's like, who am I emailing? But the direct number to me and my brother, the guys that are in the video, the instructional video that you'll be watching or have watched, to install this kit. All right, last but certainly not least is going to be the customer support you receive from either me or my brother, the guys in the video. We will be available 7 days a week to answer any questions you might have, whether you're on the website and you're wondering if this is going to work on your particular Jeep, which it'll work on pretty much every single Wrangler, JK, JL, Gladiator, two-door, four-door, soft top. But you might just want to verify your particular situation with us. Hey, give us the old-fashioned phone call. Or you might be in your driveway and you already have the kit and you have a question on a Saturday afternoon. Give us the old-fashioned phone call, right? Anytime you have a question about something regarding the leaking, before, after, during your installation, again, say it with me. Give us the old-fashioned phone call. We're here for you, and we're real people just like you, and we understand that some things might be need to be clarified. So if there's any clarification that needs to be made on anything regarding this product, feel free to reach out to us. We realize that people are in their driveway all around the world, in their garage all the way around the world, and we are here to help you as if we are in the garage with you. If we are in the, like we're in the driveway with you, you know what I mean? That's where the old-fashioned phone call comes into play. So yeah, I just want to emphasize that. Yes, you can email us, but also please feel free to contact us directly with the old-fashioned phone call, and we'll be more than happy to pick up the phone, chat with you, see what you got going on, make any recommendations, and just kind of get you to get through this situation and put it to bed once and for all. So with that being said, again, say it with me, old-fashioned phone call if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.